So some of the more popular locally owned restaurants are making their way down to the Gilbert area. We've seen that quite a bit in downtown Gilbert. Now it's expanding into other areas, other parts of Gilbert that are brand new. And I think it speaks a lot to what Gilbert has to offer and what is happening when it comes to growth. So we've got Buck and Ryder. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to continue our neighborhood drive tour series, where we give you a sneak preview of some of the most popular places to live here in the Phoenix Metro. Today we are covering the town of Gilbert, and I've got 6 neighborhoods picked out to give you kind of a general idea on why people tend to find Gilbert so appealing, and maybe some reasons why you might want to avoid it. And just a heads up, this is not a best neighborhoods list per se. It's more of a tour to kind of give you a general idea of what Gilbert looks like if you're considering it as a future place to live, and try to give you some questions to ask yourself on things that might be important to you to guide you in the right direction. So if you think that might be helpful, then stay tuned. All right, guys, stop number 1 on our list today takes us to the community of the Islands. We're here near McQueen and Warner. I'll bring up a map so you can get a general idea of location. And then let me kind of swing you around here a little bit. I picked out this community because it is one of the few waterfront communities that you will find here in Gilbert, where you can, have a home that's kind of back to the water here and maybe have a little boat behind it, that type of thing. Really, really cool, fun community to come explore. So what we're going to do is take you on a little driving tour of each neighborhood. If you go to our website, livinginphoenix.com, you can find the full driving tours available there. And the idea is to give you kind of a way to quickly and efficiently kind of tour an area. My goal today is to kind of drive around, show you what some of these neighborhoods look like, give you an outline to follow potentially if you're going to be coming into town and you want to tour these yourself in a quick and effective way, and then also kind of give you some listing information on homes for sale so you can kind of determine if it might be the right fit for you that way as well. So let's go ahead and start touring the islands. We'll show you what it looks like here, and then we'll keep moving on. All right, let's go ahead and check out one of the listings here in the Islands. Right in front of me here is a 5-bedroom, 3-bath, 2,800 square foot home listed for $690. I'll go ahead and pop some pictures up on screen to kind of give you a general idea on what it looks like. One of the big things you got to determine is whether or not you want to be on the water here in the Islands. This particular home right behind me here is not on the water. If we look at a similar home that is on the water, you're probably going to be north of about $1 million. So keep that in mind on that. We do have some neighborhood dogs barking at me too, but let's go ahead and keep touring around and show you a little bit more of what the Islands has to offer, and then we'll head on to the next neighborhood. All right, stop number 2 on our tour takes us southeast to the community of Ashland Ranch. We are located near Lindsay and Ray. I'll pop up the map so you can take a look at that. And I'll just kind of show you where we're at right now. We're actually right next to Ashland Ranch. Elementary School, which is just past that fence over there. We kind of went over the goal of the tour in the first community, and now I want to kind of give you guys some questions to ask yourself as we're kind of touring through, because the goal of this is to try to give you an understanding on what things might be good or bad for you and what makes sense. So, some of the questions that I think are important are, walkability. Are you looking for a walkable neighborhood? Thinking about walkability when it comes to, having a school in the neighborhood. A lot of people might be parents with kids, younger kids, and they want to be able to, send their kids to school if they're in elementary school and be able to allow them to walk to school and feel secure and feel safe about it, not have them deal with too much traffic. So stuff like that is important. Walkability when it comes to shops and restaurants. Do you want to be in a community that offers that? How big do you want your lot size? How close do you want your neighborhoods? That's a super important thing to know when kind of figure out, what areas might be right for you. Obviously, community amenities. How old do you want it to be? That type of thing. Those are the questions I want you to ask yourself as we tour through these neighborhoods to kind of get a good idea on what you think offers the lifestyle you're looking for. So let's go ahead and tour Ashland Ranch a little bit, and then we'll stop at one of the listings here and keep it rolling. All right, let's check out this active listing that we have here in Ashland Ranch. This is a 5-bedroom, 3-bath, about 2,700 square foot home listed for $725. And this is a good example of a home that is, very close to the school. So if you were to send your kids off to the school from there, they could easily walk there within 5 minutes, easily get there and not have any traffic. You do back to kind of the circle that kind of gets people in and out of the neighborhood. So there's a little bit of interior traffic from that circle that you're going to have in the back part of your yard over here. But as I'm standing here looking at it, the amount of traffic is very limited. You might have a little morning and afternoon traffic. But those are the types of questions that I think are important for people to ask, and also just kind of getting a general feel of, what the neighborhood looks like, your curb appeal, the age of homes. A lot of it is just like seeing how clean the neighborhood is and seeing the cars that are parked out in front, that type of thing. So let's go tour around a little bit more here, and then we'll head on to the next one. Just a quick reminder for you guys, if you're thinking about making the move here to Gilbert or anywhere else here in the Phoenix area, and you have any questions or you need assistance in guiding you in the right direction, that is what we're here for. Make sure to reach out to us. We've got our contact info on screen, and we look forward to hearing from you. All right, stop number 3 on our list takes us eastbound again. We're gonna head over to the really cool and unique community of Agritopia. I've got the neighborhood right beside me over here. You can take a look at that. And then on the other side of me, I'm actually here at Cosmo Park, which is a really cool little park, dog park, sports, entertainment, everything you could want over here. One of the really nice things about Agritopia that you're going to find is definitely one of the best locations from a neighborhood perspective. So lots of walkable features, very close to a lot of the entertainment districts. We can see Top Golf here in the background, Santan Village, that type of thing. So from that perspective, definitely one of the best locations you can find. The thing that some people might find as a negative is how close you are to your neighbors. So we're gonna drive around and kind of see that part of it too. You're gonna see a lot of cars out in front. It's very busy. There's a lot of people in there. So from a perspective of if you like, or if you don't like having a lot of traffic, if you don't like being on top of your neighbors, that's where this neighborhood might not be the best fit, but lots of cool amenities, things that we're going to go explore and talk about. So let's go ahead and drive around a little bit, show you what it looks like, and then we'll stop at a couple of the cool things it has to offer. All right, so let me walk over to a listing here. I want to kind of give you a general feel for what we're seeing street traffic wise. So you're seeing some of these through streets, you're seeing a lot of cars, you know, parked right out here. And I think, you know, that's because when you kind of come back into some of these other little pockets, I mean, you just got little single car streets that people kind of cruise through. And then if we're kind of going into these little pockets over here that are these, you know, smaller lot, you know, these are really tiny lots. So this house in front of me here is a 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath, 1,700 square foot, listed for $500K. This is what you got to know. These are kind of like little townhomes when it comes to having, you know, just a little bit of space for a backyard, and then the rest is community space. And then we'll go to the front so you can kind of get an idea of the front. So you've got your garages in back, so you enter in from the garage side. Again, not a lot of space back there, not a lot of guest parking. And then you've got all of the houses kind of face into this little area here. So you get kind of a general feel for, you know, you do have a little community space out front, which is nice. But again, like all the houses are pretty close together. So again, for somebody who wants a lock and leave type situation, or for somebody who just wants the community amenities, wants to be close to family members, there's a senior living facility right inside Agritopia. So for those who want to be close to any parents that might need help, that type of thing. So there's a lot of things that could, you know, guide you to why this community might make sense, even if you're not wanting to be, you know, super close to your neighbors, but it just makes sense from every other thing that you're looking for. But hopefully that kind of gives you a general feel for, you know, what you're going to see in here. It reminds me a lot of like the beach cities in California. Like if you're going to go hang out in San Diego and kind of see some of the stuff over there, that's what it reminds me of, you know, when I'm walking around here. But really cool community, and they've done a great job with just the general aesthetic, the curb appeal, all the trees and the greenery and stuff like that. So from that perspective, they've done a great job. And then I do want to show you the community garden as well. So let's hit next. Oh, and one other quick note, that was an example of a smaller house in the neighborhood, but there are larger homes. I did see another listing that's like a 4,000 square foot plus basement home that was listed for like 1.2 million. So there are larger homes in the community as well. I'm sure that the majority are probably a little bit smaller lot sizes, but don't think that every single home in here has small lot size. All right, so if we come out to the edge of the community here, I kind of just want to give you a little peek at the community garden. One of the fun features of Agritopia. You also have Joe's Farm Grill, which is kind of right over here, right beside me. A cool little area, and just enjoy the community from a walkability perspective. And then the other thing, like we're walking over towards basically the corner of Higley and Ray. This area has exploded with development and is bringing in a lot of new shops, and it's bringing in a lot of the new popular places. What I'm seeing where I live up in Arcadia in the central Phoenix area, some of the more popular locally owned restaurants are making their way down to the Gilbert area. We've seen that quite a bit in downtown Gilbert. Now it's expanding into other areas, other parts of Gilbert that are brand new. And I think it speaks a lot to what Gilbert has to offer and what is happening when it comes to growth. So we've got Buck and Ryder right in front of me here. This is a brand new location. Their other location is up in central Phoenix near Arcadia, one of my favorite spots to go to up there, and just a fantastic place. So I'm excited to see it down here for Gilbert to kind of enjoy it, for future residents to enjoy it. Just an amazing spot. So check it out if you get a chance. All right, guys, we are here at 4 Silos Coffee and Brewing, and that means next stop is taking us to Morrison Ranch. For those of you that don't know, we're heading northbound from where we were at Agritopia. As you go northbound on Higley and you come up to Elliott, you're gonna see 4 big silos, which kind of mark the Morrison Ranch location. And Morrison Ranch is huge. Morrison Ranch has a lot of different little subdivisions, both here on east side of Higley and also on the west side. So we'll let me swing you around here. you'll kind of see the entranceway into this part of Morrison Ranch. And then you've got another little subdivision of Morrison Ranch on the other side of Higley. We're going to tour you through. I'm going to show you primarily this section here that's kind of walkable to some of the shops and stores and that type of thing. You're going to see some of the homes that were originally built when Morrison Ranch first got started up here on the north side. And then if you go a little bit south, you can get into some newer sections that have newer homes, but don't really have as much of the mature landscape and that type of thing. Both are beautiful, but just want to give you a heads up in case one is more important to you or the other. So let's go ahead and explore Morrison Ranch a little bit, and we'll stop at a listing and check that out as well. All right, let's stop at a listing here. We're at the Elliott Groves subdivision of Morrison Ranch, and in front of me here is a 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath, just about 2,400 square foot home listed for $735,000. I'll go ahead and pop some pictures up on screen so you guys can take a look at that. And then why don't we just talk about what we're seeing so far in Gilbert? I think as we kind of walk around Morrison Ranch, what you guys saw at Agrotopia, what you guys saw at the islands, even Ashland Ranch and that type of thing. One of the reasons why people find Gilbert so appealing is the amount of greenery and landscape and mature trees, people having grass in their yards. With all the talk about Arizona having a water shortage, people go crazy over this and like, why does Arizona have communities with water? I'm a fan of having communities with the greenery, with the grass. It helps cool it down a lot more. Most people, I think, would prefer having this. There's obviously always something we have to talk about when it comes to water, making sure that we're using it properly. So I don't want to think that that is not important, but I also think it is important to make sure that you're having a community that people want to live in, you're taking care of landscape, and you're creating a much cooler environment for what we have to deal with during the summers. But this is why a lot of people tend to come down and enjoy what Gilbert has to offer. So we're seeing a lot of that. I think that's important. The other thing I think we're seeing a lot of down here, which tends to be a common trait, is a lot of these communities that have schools within them. It's very family friendly down here. So if you are a family that has young kids, or if you just like to be in an area that has good schools, just knowing that it helps your home values, then Gilbert is always at the top of the list when it comes to that. And they just make it very friendly when it comes to, again, having the schools, having a lot of the play parks, having walkable amenities that, you know, just offer a lot more for families than some other areas might have. The other thing kind of nice that I'm noticing right now, because, you know, in this part of Morrison Ranch, it's really, really quiet. So we saw all the craziness of what was going on over at Agrotopia. That's obviously has a lot of appeal for a certain crowd. For those of you who like a little bit more quiet, a little bit less crowded type of situation, Morrison Ranch definitely gives a good spot for that. All right, guys, next on our list takes us south. We are heading down towards Power and Queen Creek Road to the community of Power Ranch. And I'm here at the ranch house, little clubhouse park right now. We'll kind of spin you around, take you on give you a little idea of what's going on around here right now. Quiet day. Looks like they're doing a little remodeling on the pool and that type of thing. Overall, everything is looking good, and we're going to take a little tour of Power Ranch. Power Ranch is another pretty big community that is very expansive. It goes not only here between around Power and Queen Creek, also north up to German. Covers a lot of ground. So we're going to kind of tour you around a little bit. We'll show you again another listing, give you an idea on what things look like, and just share some of the reasons why a lot of people find it a really nice place to live. So let's go tour around a little bit and we'll check out a house. All right, so let's take a look at one of the active listings here in Power Ranch. In front of me is a 6-bedroom, 3.5 bath, 4,200 square foot home that's listed for about $850. And we'll pop some pictures up on screen so you can take a look. We'll kind of swing around a little bit. But as we're touring around Power Ranch here, I think you'll find that Power Ranch has a lot of similarities to some of the other neighborhoods that we've seen. A lot of greenery, a lot of mature trees, some of the amenities that it has as far as, you know, coming into some of the clubhouses and seeing some of the water features and the lakes and that type of thing. So again, a lot of similarities when you're cruising around Gilbert, and it's really trying to, again, figure out those questions that we talked about earlier in the video to figure out what is going to be right for you. There's a lot of beautiful communities around here, and a lot of them have a lot of similar features. So it really is important for you to kind of narrow down some of the things that you really need in order to kind of guide you in the right direction. So you're not just like touring all over town trying to figure out where to go. So we'll explore a little bit more here at Power Ranch, and then we got one more stop that we're going to take you to heading a little bit further south. So let's keep it rolling and we'll wrap it up. All right, guys, last stop today takes us all the way down to the southern edge of Gilbert, all the way down to Riggs Road, and we are at the golf course community of Seville. And again, I'll just kind of swing you around a little bit, kind of show you where we're at. I'm actually right behind the Golf and Country Club right now. One of the things you're going to notice as you're driving down towards Riggs Road is you're going to see a drastic difference in some of the, what the communities look like. You'll start to see some of the golf course communities, and you start to see, especially going down Riggs Road, a lot of really large gated luxury communities, all with you know, very, very big houses, large lots, that type of thing. So both Gilbert and Chandler, you're going to see that when you come all the way down to the southern edges of both. You're going to see these massive communities with these big houses, big lots, of that type of thing. So for those of you who are looking for that type of setup, this southern edge of Gilbert and Chandler are going to offer that for you. But Seville's been around for a little bit. We're going to tour around here, kind of share, you know, some of what the houses look like. You do have the mountain views in the background here. So down on the southern edge, it kind of gives you access to some of those santan views. So that is always a nice feature of coming down here as well. So let's go explore a little bit, and then we'll find one last house. All right, guys, last house of the day. This one is an active listing. It's a 5-bedroom, 3-bath, 3,300 square foot home listed for $900K. And we'll pop some pictures up on screen. And this one is not on the golf course, so I want to let you know that that is an important note for the homes in this area. And as we wrap up here, I want to kind of just remind you guys of the questions that I want you to ask yourself when you're kind of going through these videos, making sure what's important to you. Gilbert is very popular for a lot of reasons. There's a lot of appeal to it because of how new it is, and the curb appeal, the landscape, all the greenery, family friendly, close to schools, shops, restaurants, you name it. Gilbert is very popular for that right now. So figure out what makes sense for you, what's important for you, and then that can kind of guide you as to all the areas and neighborhoods that are around here that could be a good fit, because there are a lot of them. So hopefully this gives you kind of a general idea on what things look like, so you can figure out whether Gilbert might be right for you. If it's not, we're going to have a lot more of these tours of other areas across the valley as well, so you can check those out too. Make sure to reach out to us if you guys have any questions. We've got our contact info on screen. Give us a call, send us a text, shoot us an email, however you want to get a hold of us. We got your back, and until the next video, we'll catch you later.